Good evening. You're tuned in to an episode of What in the World is Steffi Girl Watching? And this is going to be my recap with spoilers of Paradise, Season 2, Episode 7, called It's the Final Countdown. That's the name of the episode, and we are one away from the finale. It's happening next Monday. Season 2 will come to the end, and we will be entering into season 3, which is sadly the final countdown. It's the final season. Season 3 will be the final season. So we're here again. If you hadn't seen the episode, I gave you a couple of days, but I can't sit on it any longer. This is not the podcast for you because I'm going to be telling what happened. So again, Paradise is showing on Hulu. Catch it, and if you want to see what happened or listen to the sound of my voice, you are in the right place. So let's go ahead and get started. The episode started 6 years earlier. Sinatra and I think it was Andes was walking through the tank room of the bunker, and it was talking about the oxygen and nitrogen tanks are monitored. And then at the time, the president walked in, and he was telling Andes, "You need to take it down a few grades." He wanted it to where he could understand it, and the air was stored so it would allow them to be able to breathe underground, and dirty water was made clean, and trash becomes fire. So they had a whole system set up there. Cold water becomes hot, and that's what they was looking at. Of how do they change all this over? What's going on? And the president hummed, "It's the final countdown," and I was thinking it. It was like when he hummed it, it was the craziest thing. I was thinking, and then the president said, "Where's the universal remote, the thing that controls it?" So he was shown that. Sinatra is very satisfied with the progress, and the president talked about the time that he and the wife were in London, and he bought an $8,000 robe that he never wears. And he said, "Will the bunker be where he and his grandkids could die, or is it going to be an expensive story?" Sinatra talked about uh, the kid she had lost. She mentioned the kid. The president said something about kids, and then he pulled it back, and she was like, "Don't do that," you know. And then she went ahead and mentioned, she was like, don't do that. But she also said that this is the future. You know, Terry goes to Xavier, and she grabbed him, and she's still telling the people, "That's my husband." And Xavier starts fighting. He grabbed and said he grabbed one of them and said, "Terry's my wife," and that he came a long way to find her. Well, I got that wrong. She ran to him and she hugged him, and he never lowered his gun. So he got her like held, and he got the gun on the people. And he told her that he heard her on the radio. She asked about the kids, and then the woman um was like over that group said, "Are you talking about the bunker in Colorado?" And Terry told Xavier to put down his gun, and that's where the train is going, to the bunker in Colorado. And he asked her, was she really okay? So, like I said, that was the reunion that we all have been waiting for, to see Terry and him back together. And Xavier gave the gun back to the guy that he had taken it from, and he said he really didn't want to hurt someone. no one. And the woman said that Gary set off that bomb, and he went Jason Bourne. They can't find him, but she told the guys to check the perimeter. She knows that he knows about the bunker, and said they aren't going to hurt him. The shot between Terry and Xavier in kind of like that sunlight, and he's touching. In fact, I think he tells her that he likes her hair. That shot to me was everything. How they shot it. In my mind, I'm thinking that one was probably like maybe at the end of the day when the sun was kind of going down, because I could see the rays. I'm amateur photographer, but the cinematography right there, yeah, I like that. I like that shot, and I love the way he was embracing her and looking at her, and she said, "You gotten skinny," and Terry takes a deep breath, and as she exhale, she's handed a note, and it's about being. Excuse me. Sinatra's in the mirror. Her hubby was helping her to pick out which suit to wear. He told her the one that she should. And she's meeting with the outsiders. The group that's outside the bunker that won't see in today is that day that she's meeting with them. Excuse me. And she said that Dylan, which I guess is her son, would have been 26 on today. And she asked her husband, like, how did you heal? It seemed like that he just went along, and he just healed. And they say a lot of times, when a couple loses a child, sometimes it tears them apart. And he said that he hasn't healed. He just know they have another child there that needs them as well. Dr. Gabriella is dreaming that Jane shot her. That shot looks so realistic. I just knew when she's turning on her sleep and she looks and Jane shoots her. I thought Jane was in her bedroom. I'm serious. It looks so real. And she jumped. And when she's in her shower, she sensed something. She kept looking at her. Like I said, she's very uneasy because Jane has pretty much threatened her. And in her notes, she has that Jane is involved. She just doesn't know how. And so when she gets ready to walk out her front door, who's there? Jane. Oh, I'm here to give you a ride to the meeting. She said, no, thank you. I'll walk. Hadley and Presley is together with their master plan, trying passwords. And mom is so consistent. The brother's birthday is the password for everything. So Hadley gets into the system, and they see camera footage of where they were taking Presley's boyfriend. I think it's Jeremy. Jeremy and Robinson was still at each other, and he told her there is no us, and he doesn't want to involve her. He is going to try to force the doors open, and he said people should have the right to choose whether they want to be in that bunker or whether they want to chance it outside. And Robinson said, F it, I'm in. And at the leadership meeting, they're discussing snipers. They're telling Sinatra where she should stand, and that they're quite sure that that group has snipers. So they're just telling her don't go all the way outside the doors. They're open, and they're going through all of that. Dr. Gabriella, Jane wants to be on the team, and Dr. Gabriella advised against it. It cuts to Xavier is in the tent with the lady who's the head of that group that's getting ready to leave the area. And he was in there talking to the woman. And she gave them their privacy. And him and Terry have the moment when they're finally alone and they cry. And I think a lot of people thought they was going to see this sex scene, and they don't understand that both of them are in survival mode. They have so much to do, so much to catch up on. It wasn't that type of party. It's just I'm happy that you're alive, and I'm happy that I'm here, you're here, and we're in this moment. That's what that was um, about. And Xavier asked Terry, "What is the plan of the team when they get to Colorado?" And then she showed him the note, and the note said, "I have been come home. That was courtesy of Gary. Xavier said, "This mother." And she said, "We can't leave without him." And that child is her fam now. And Xavier said, "I get it." A lot of catching up to, because not only do you have him, you have a baby too that you don't know about there. And he said they have a lot to catch up on. They kissed, and he said, "Let's go get your boy." So when they was getting ready to go, the lady told them that their train is going to be there for a little while, but they're rolling out. And Xavier said, "We'll be there. We'll be here." Dr. Gabriella is talking to Sinatra and said that she's worried about Jane and her elevation, and she pretty much said that she's not stable. And she told her that she killed Bane and she feels like she is next. And Sinatra says she's working on something important, kind of blew it off. She isn't worried about Jane. And Dr. Gabriella asked her point blank, "Who is Alex?" Sinatra ain't answered that at all. Jane is tracking the doctor. When she's in the meeting, her phone is going off and she knows right where Dr. Gabriella is. Jeremy told Robinson he doesn't need her help, and he's still cutting into taking little swipes at her every chance he get. Xavier tells Terry that Presley has a boyfriend, and Terry was like, "Well, the limited pool is kind of dating down there." So she was like, "I already know he's white." But when he told her who he was and that he was, when she said his name, she knew it was the president's son, and she said, "Get out!" And he told him about their son James, and he asked about Bean. Xavier told her on the walk over that Gary is dangerous, and Terry is just like telling him, "But I know he wouldn't hurt Bean. But my thing is, would he hurt you?" And she knows he's dangerous, but she still feels like he won't hurt Bean. So he Xavier told her he's going to be overprotective for the next 10 to 30 years. And Sinatra is at the door. And this scene got me too. As the doors was opening, it's like, oh, even though that wasn't the music, but that's what you're thinking. The way the great doors are opening, and the way that sunlight stood in, she put her hand up, and like the rays came through it. So it was something kind of like telling you something without saying it about that shot. I didn't get it at first, but I get it. I get it now. And the guys stepped forward, and Link, uh, I know the guys came in. I think they told him that he could bring 5 unarmed, so it was them and Link, and he Link starts to talk, and he was told that Bradford is dead, and he asked about the VP. But Sinatra didn't say that. She just said he's unavailable. Baines is dead too, and of course they bought the apple pie. And Sinatra and Link walk off. They go to sit on Air Force One. Xavier is in sniper position. Terry is watching the post office with him, so they just got eyes on everything. And finally, they see that Gary's in there, and he's pacing. You can tell he's frantic. And Terry wants to go alone. She wants Xavier to maintain his position, and he is having a fit. But he told her, if he, and you know what that meant, if he even touches you, he gonna drop him. He is gonna drop him. And she was like, "Okay, fine." Link is talking to Sinatra, and he called her evil. And she asked him how old he is, and he said he get tired of people asking him that all the time. He's only 26, and he wanted to discuss the reactors. Sinatra didn't want to talk about that, and Sinatra said, "What do you really want?" He was eating apple pie. He also knows their system. He talked about how crisp and fresh those apples were. He talked about the flakiness of the crust. And he was saying the reason why he wanted that pie, Brad Pitt is always eating in his movies. But he did that to kind of see how their food source is down there. And when when Sinatra asked him what he wanted, he said Alex. And she looked like a deer in the headlights. She didn't just give it away, but she just had this like, what you know about Alex? Terry's in the post office, and they hugged, and I can't remember if Bean's hands was tied or not, but uh, no, she hugged Bean and she told him to go outside, and Gary told her, "I would never hurt Bean." And as they started to talk, he began to yell. So you knew he was unhinged. He had never yelled at Terry. And he told her, "I don't work without you." She tried to calm him. Sinatra told him, told Link, "I don't even know what you're talking about." And she went ahead and told him that we're at an impasse now. There's nothing else really to talk about. The Jane is looking over in Dr. Gabriella's apartment with binoculars. She's like right across the way. Jeremy apologized to Robin. He made that remark to her about there were others and my dad never mentioned you. And Robinson, I'm sorry, Anders, the system is registering. And Gary was a lifeguard, and he explained about um, a drowning man. And they say that a lot of times if a man is drowning and you try to save him, he'll take you under too. I think that's what he told her. And he started to sob. That's when you knew he had lost it and he was truly off the rails. And he said he never meant to hurt anyone. He said Ena's name and he just lost it. And she hugged him. But at the same time, I realized when she was hugging Gary, she was also shielding him from Xavier. So the way she was standing here, he saw he couldn't get that shot off. But I still think he would have attempted to drop him if he knew he wasn't gonna kill her, and Gary would have came for her. Xavier was gonna drop him, and he told her. He said, "Let him take me out." He didn't even want to live anymore. And after she hugged him and shielded him, he told her. He said, "Tell Bean about me." And she held him and she whispered some things in his ear, and she walked out. As she was walking out, I was so nervous. I was like, this is too easy. Is he going to shoot her in the back? Is he going to blow the post office up? It was just too easy. And she got Bean by his hand. And Gary just went back in to the to the post office. I was shocked. And as her and Xavier are walking off, he asks her, "So, do you still like babies?" I'm like, "Oh, girl, yeah, you got a new you got a new addition. Your family size has just increased, and you don't even know." Sinatra told Link to forget about this, and the team is calling Link, but somebody slipped up and said Dylan. And when they said that, she was like, "Dylan, is your name Dylan?" And he's looking at her and it's like it's garbled and you can barely hear it. Sinatra has a nosebleed and she touches him and he has a nosebleed as well. And he kind of like snatched away from her and he went with the thing. He looked at her real weird. Oh, she asked him his birthday and he told her, which was today's date, May 16th, whatever the year was there. Sinatra went home on a high and she told her husband it worked and she is all over him. I mean, all over him to the point he was like, "Are you sure about this?" There was a flashback in the nerve center where it said the impossible man made possible. Oh, her and the president was talking. Um, and about empires collapsing, redundancies, and they went on full lockdown because they were trying to reach Sinatra, the team, to see what they was gonna do. And the guy said, go on full lockdown." Hadley and Presley was on the elevator going down, and then all of a sudden it stopped. Jane is now in Dr. Gabriella's apartment, and Dr. Gabriella set up. She steamed up her shower, and as Jane got ready to take her out, she got him. It looked like some kidney shots, and she is in the shower bleeding. I thought instantly that she was dead, but upon listening to others and their perspective, Jane's not dead. I was so hoping that she was. Um, it flashes back to them talking about dominance might last, and the full lockdown is incomplete. It won't do it. So you have Jeremy down there. They're trying to open the doors, and they're getting ready to smash the system and do what they have to do. The lockdown was incomplete. The girls are stuck on the elevator, and you hear a new age twist on Final Countdown. Xavier's on the train. Bean is right across from him asleep, and Terry is holding the baby, and she's asleep. Sinatra gets on the train and goes somewhere. She puts on the blue coat. She walks in somewhere and she says, "Hi, Alex." I'm sitting up here thinking, who the F is Alex? That's how the episode ended. Hi, Alex. That was Paradise, Season 2, Episode 7, titled The Final Countdown. The finale is next week. If you want to connect with me, you can find me over on Blue Sky at Steffi Girl GYRL, or you can hit me up in the comments with your thoughts. Till the next time, peace.